because I'd just come off a menswear show just 4 weeks ago, it had to be something that was very effective and that worked, and we could kind of do, and I knew it would work. My last show was very graphic and stark and kind of very slick in a different sort of way to what this is going to be like. You know, it's the same but different, and for me it's important to have that sort of thread that runs through my work. You know, because although this show's very different, I think they're kind of, you know, everything goes with each other. For my new show, Fall or Nine, I wanted to do something that I'd never done before. Previously, I've kind of always worked with a silhouette that's very like, you know, like an inverted triangle, very big at the top and very small at the bottom, whereas for this show it's very much about, you know, we're flipping it upside down, and it's very small at the top and very kind of big at the bottom, kind of a very solid structure. And I was talking with Katie, my stylist, and Ruth, who's been doing the video, about kind of a flamenco dancer, not necessarily in such a literal sense, but just that sort of kind of quite hard femininity. You know, it's very sort of feminine, but in a very aggressive sort of way. It's very simple and steely and slick, and kind of is the same with the men's. You know, we're continuing on with the nails that we did to sort of roll that over into the women's. I just thought it was nice to sort of link them up, so they weren't so incredibly sort of disparate. You know, there's something that runs throughout them both. You know, because if I'm working on something like a men's show and then I'm going on to a women's show, it's impossible for me just mentally to sort of think of them as two different things. I have to have some sort of thread again that runs through them. So I first started off thinking that, okay, if I'm doing a video, I need to do it the day before the show in Paris. So it was going to have to be something really lo-fi and something really quick and easy to do. And you know, it went through a lot of sort of different. We went through a lot of different ideas. Anyway, we ended up doing it in London in a proper studio, which turned out nicely. And anyway, the model was the one thing that we really needed to get right.
Natasha V is the model in the video.
Yeah.
Could you talk about the reasons why you chose her?
I don't know, we just wanted a girl who could sort of do whatever we wanted to do. You know, whatever we asked her to do, she could do it on the day. Basically, we didn't want someone who was uncomfortable in front of a camera, because you know, a video is so different to still photography. You know, you can get an amazing girl who looks fantastic in front of a camera for pictures, but for a video, once you put them in there and press record and they're just stood there like a bottle of milk, it's a problem, especially because the clothes that we did lend themselves so much to movement, and it takes a certain kind of person to understand that sort of movement. You know, it's like we went through a lot of options, like do we use a dancer, do we get some sort of, not a contortionist, but like an acrobat or someone who can sort of understand the way things move. Because, you know, my stuff's always usually a lot about movement. So anyway, you know, I saw some videos of Natasha on her studio, and you know, I knew what she could do because we were literally relying on one girl to pull it out of the bag, and she pulled it out of the bag and more. Yes. With shows, you get caught very much up into trying to sort of, you know, milk the looks and put as much stuff out as you can, because, you know, it's all going to be sort of documented and you're going to have to live with that for however many months until your next show. So with this, you just have a lot more power to be able to sort of, you know, it's just more freeing to be able to sort of show people what you want them to see. It's just going to be very simple and very beautiful, but you know, it's, again, you can only control so much in a fashion show because it's a live event, whereas this, again, it's a live event, but you know, you've got a lot more say in how things work. You know, I'm really excited about doing it because, you know, it's something that I've never really done before. I've always shown and I've never sort of missed kind of doing a show at Fashion Week, but maybe this would be the start. I mean, I'm just thinking of it, it could be quite an interesting way of doing things. You know, it opens up a whole new kind of, it widens the scope to work with more interesting people and to do more interesting things with, you know, my clothes, that, you know, rather than a girl walking around or down a catwalk and then back up. I sometimes find that a little bit half-arsed, for want of a better word. But yeah, it's kind of a well-trodden formula, and I think it's maybe time for a change.